Welcome to Batshit, a frank and funny look at living with mental illness.
While we'll touch on several illnesses, Batshit is focused on those along the spectrum of bipolar disorders.
I'm your host, Adam,
And I'm your other host, Brad.
and we're both bipolar, so strap in and let's see how batshit we really are.
Spoiler alert, pretty damn batshit.
Yeah.
This episode's topic, seasonal affective depression, I think it's called.
Sure, seasonal depression. Let's just seasonal depression.
Disorder.
And disorder, yeah, disorder.
I know the initials for it are SAD.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So seasonal
It's seasonal,
affective
yeah.
depression?
You
Okay.
know what, folks?
We're gonna.
Because we're so prepared. I'm going to Google this right now.
If only we had tiny computers
In
in
our
our hands slash
at all
pockets
moments.
as we record this shit on our laptops into our microphones. Oh god, I hate seasonal depression. As Brad looks this up, I've never. I think I've always had it.
Seasonal
And
affective disorder.
seasonal affective disorder. So it does end with
Yeah.
disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Brad off camera. I was like, I bet you it ends with disorder because I feel like all things end with disorder.
And I was saying that wouldn't that be a better term for being mentally ill is disordered?
You're disordered.
But then Adam pointed out that could just mean that you're not standing in line properly.
Exactly. You're fucking up the line, Brad. Way to fuck up the line.
There's a lot of people here at In-N-Out. Fucking move.
Move, Brad. Seasonal depression. I feel like a lot of people have it. I don't even think you need to be mentally ill to feel, slightly depressed when you're going through. Like I grew up in New England,
Yeah.
where after the summer it just gets gray, like gray. I know there is like everyone has that idea of like a New England, fall, but especially with global warming being what it is, fall lasts like 2 weeks now. And then after that, it's just gray and cold and miserable until spring.
Well, and it gets dark so early.
Yep.
And then we've got the stupid time change, which
Yeah.
for some reason we still adhere to.
Very frustrating.
I know this isn't a political podcast, folks, but I will die on this hill. We need to get rid of this shit.
Would that be amazing if that's what brought us down? It
Yeah.
wasn't talking about mental illness. It was Brad dying on the hill of time zones.
And there's
time
a bunch
changes.
of people out there that just love daylight savings time.
Exactly.
And they're like, no, fuck you.
Fuck these guys.
And then we get canceled.
That's how we do it. That's how it gets done. That's what brought us down, you guys.
Yeah.
It's that. Yeah. So even here in California, now we don't have the gray like we did back in Los Angeles, but that time change by itself is a bitch.
Sunset tonight at 4:40.
Yeah, 4:40.
4:40.
I wasn't even out of work when the sun set.
Yeah.
Which means the only time I saw the sun was driving into work.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's really sad.
So you're not getting vitamin D.
Nope.
You're not getting the different, like we talked on our self-care episode about red light therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting the red light
Right.
spectrum from the sun. There's all these things that you're missing out on when the sun goes down early. And it's kind of equivalent a little bit to shift work.
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah.
People who work night shift or graveyard shift, it kind of thrusts all of us into that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is its own, stepping stone to mental illness, fucking up your circadian rhythms, doing
God.
crazy graveyard shifts or split shifts or all over the place, messing with your sleep cycle and your interactivity with people because you're on a different schedule than they are in terms of waking and sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, yuck. So I'm sorry, you were saying about how it affects your availability to the sun. It affects your general schedule and well-being.
Well, and I find, I don't know if this is true for you or other people, but I get sleepy so early.
Dude, I'm sleepy all the damn time. It's
Yeah.
not. It doesn't have to
that's
be
true.
early or late.
That's
I'm just
true.
tired.
That's one of the fun things about depression in general.
I'm just tired
You're just
all the
tired.
damn time. I was talking to my shrink about it actually because he was like, "Hey, so do you work out?" I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "Does it energize you?" I'm like, "No, I get tired." And he goes, "Yeah, but I thought you were tired before you go to the gym." Yeah, I'm still tired. It's like I'm exerting extra effort and energy to only be more tired. I don't get it.
That's one thing I wonder. Our medications, it's a lot easier to tackle mania from a medication standpoint than it is depression for bipolar,
Mm.
especially because a lot of SSRIs will trigger mania.
Sure.
And I've often wondered if having the mania under control is one of the reasons I'm sleepy all the time.
Really?
Like,
You think so?
yeah, that not only do I not get any kind of like low key mania
Mm.
to get those boosts of energy, I'm wondering if the drugs are designed to kind of just tamp you down in general
Right.
to prevent the mania.
Well, and see, that's interesting because you talk about, you know, the tamping down of your mania, and then you add in seasonal depression, right?
Yeah.
Which will take what is already a lowered Brad and make him even lower.
Yeah.
You know, which just leads to sleepy time tea, sleepy time tea,
Sleepy
Brad.
time tea, Brad. Drinking my chamomile.
My chamomile, wearing
my
that little stocking hat.
Got my little Snuggie on.
No, I want a Snuggie. Do you have a Snuggie?
No, I wish I had a Snuggie.
Dude, those are pretty sweet.
They're
man.
pretty comfy.
Yeah, I have my weighted blanket, but
Weighted
it's,
blankets are good.
yeah, dude, all day with the weighted blanket.
Yeah.
How do you have one?
Yeah.
How heavy is yours?
I don't know.
Mine's 20 pounds.
I think it's probably 20.
Probably. Like I put it on my wife though, and she's like, "I can't move." I'm like, "Baby, it's not that heavy." It's like I'm fucking crushing her with stones in medieval times. Seasonal depression, and you know what doesn't help with seasonal depression, which is kind of counterintuitive, is the holidays that occur with this time of year.
Yeah, because you're depressed already.
Right.
And then if you're suffering from any kind of other depression or bipolar or anything on top of that, it's probably worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into the holidays where maybe you don't have people to spend it with,
Right.
or, you just went through a breakup, or, you lost someone. I mean,
Yeah, or hell, you may have people to spend it with that you're obliged to spend it with that just set you off.
yeah.
Right, that trigger,
Yeah.
your various afflictions. And I actually think that's what's so frustrating for me about this time of year, because you could suggest that, hey, you know what's going to be a great big help in fighting your depression? Being with people who love you, being with people who care about you, being with people who do not want to see you that way. Right, who want to be not see you that way as in like view you that way so much as like, I see that you're depressed, I'm going to be a buoyant figure in your life, right?
Yeah.
And in theory, that's what like family and friends are. But like you were saying, some people don't have that. Or some people, even with the best of intentions, their family may not be that buoy that, they need them to be.
Yeah.
And that sucks because now you're traveling, you're stressed out, you're spending too much money, all to get and be with people that may not help you at all. Or you're broke because you can't travel, so you can't see anyone you know and love.
Yeah.
And everyone you know and love leaves you to go do their thing with their family, and now you're alone in a different way.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I find myself getting into right now, like with Thanksgiving had just passed when we're recording this. Christmas is coming up. And, most of my friends went home to see their family.
Right.
And I was just kind of like at home, like not doing anything. I mean, I had the kids. I don't want to make it sound like I'm like sitting in a room staring at a wall or something.
Right.
But it's like after a couple of days of just being in the house with the kids, it's like I would like to have an adult conversation, So little things like that, I think, get to you during the holidays. And then, of course, like every single Christmas song that plays on the radio or on a Christmas playlist is all about like, wouldn't it be great if you were with people right now?
Yeah, right. It's like, hey, you know what makes the holidays extra special? That extra special someone.
Yeah, you've got three types of holiday songs.
Right.
You've got the romance holiday song, like wouldn't it be great if we fell in love, or
Sure.
or my baby left me and I wish she'd come back for Christmas. Or whatever.
Okay.
You've got the isn't it great to be with family,
Yep.
and then you've just got like Santa Claus is cool.
Sure. Well,
Those are
and-
your
and
three types of holidays.
You've also got like religious songs.
Oh,
You know? You know what I mean?
I don't really constitute that as music.
I mean, it's still music, and technically it's still music.
You know my most hated Christmas song? Christmas Shoes.
Oh God, that's not even
That is
a
the most
song.
like,
It's
saccharine, manipulative,
No.
like, and selfish. Like
Yeah.
the guy's not singing. He's not like isn't this such a sad story that this kid's buying these shoes for his mom that's dying and blah blah blah. It's just him crowing about like I shelled out $20.
Yeah,
to buy
$20
this
to
kid
buy some fucking shoes.
That's all he's talking about. It's like,
Stupid.
aren't I awesome?
And did you do anything else besides buy that children's shoe?
Nope.
Nope. That was it.
I didn't even make sure he got home. Okay.
Exactly. Oh well, fuck him. Hope he finds his mom. What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh man, my favorite Christmas song.
I'm going with George Michael. With George Michael, Last Christmas I gave you my heart, then the very
that's a good one.
next day you gave it away.
I like anything Bing Crosby.
Ooh, okay.
Like even the silly ones like Melikaliki is the thing to say.
Do you know Dominic the Donkey?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, don't make that face. That's an amazing.
no.
That's an amazing song. It's an amazing character. If you people out there in podcast land don't know the holiday jam that is Dominic the Donkey,
Look it up.
look it up. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And you know what I'm betting is that this episode's not going to come out before Christmas. It may not.
Yeah.
But I'm going to buy Jared's son a Dominic the Donkey that sings the song over and over
Oh, you
again.
should.
Oh, I'm totally
should.
going to do that because I've been playing that for that kid since he was a wee one. So
Yeah.
now it's going to be like, Jiminy Ching, hee-haw, Dominic the Donkey. It's good stuff, everybody. It's good stuff.
You know what I really like? I forget if it's the Drifters or the Platters, but the cover of White Christmas. where it's
Oh,
like, "Do-do-do-do-do-do,
I think that's the Drifters. Yeah, I think it's the Drifters.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Anything like 4-part harmony Christmas with like a little bit of a swing to it. Love that.
There's this thing, talk about Bing Crosby, other Adam, and I always joke around with. And for years we've been doing this, and I'm like, we need to record this as like a video Christmas card with just like stills of Bing Crosby and stuff. But it's one of Bing Crosby's Christmas shows, but his co-host is a robot from the future.
Okay.
And so the robot's just always like, Mr. Crosby, can you explain quantum physics to me? And then Bing will be like, well, I don't know about that, robot, but what I do know is we have some boys overseas serving their country tonight, and I think they're dreaming of a white Christmas.
So what,
Uh,
what gave you that idea?
I don't know.
Robot.
But it's
Oh
just-
well, robot. And he doesn't have a name. His name is still
Yeah, it's
Robot.
just robot. But just the idea of Bing Crosby just constantly being like, well, I don't know about that, but what I do know.
Hey friends, Brad and I started Batshit because we needed someone to talk to about our bipolar. So when looking for a sponsor, BetterHelp was the obvious choice. BetterHelp provides access to therapists via text, via Zoom, via email, via phone call, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I don't need to tell anyone how broken the American healthcare system is, especially when it comes to mental illness. But the beautiful thing about BetterHelp is that they'll work with you. Go to www.betterhelp.com/batshit. You'll get 10% off for the first month, and you'll get someone to talk to right now. If you need to talk to someone, do it. Please. We love you.
Thanks for listening. Help us continue the conversation. Leave us a comment with your thoughts, experiences, or questions about mental health. Every opinion and viewpoint is valid. Just don't be a dick.
I think that's actually one of the dangers about Christmas. Now, we're saying Christmas music. There's other styles, religious music. We're not going to do, again, not a political podcast. We just both happen to celebrate Christmas. The thing about Christmas music is, like, if you put your radio or, like, your Spotify onto a Christmas playlist, right? In theory, there's going to be some really fun songs on there. So you start getting, like, jingle bells, and all of a sudden your spirit's getting lifted, and then it goes down, then it just takes a hard left turn into, Christmas shoes, and then you're going back.
Or Mannheim Steamroller.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which it's such ominous Christmas music.
It really
like it sounds
is.
like something you'd play in a Christmas horror movie.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
Do you hear the Metallica version?
No, but I bet that's cool.
It's pretty cool. Cool. They played with the Philharmonic?
Oh, the San Francisco
Yeah, I think so.
Symphony Orchestra.
I can't remember.
Yeah, that whole album was good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty freaking good.
So we're way off topic.
Yeah, how did we get
folks.
to Metallica?
That was a lot of leaps.
Yeah, well, That's okay. That's what this podcast is all about. It's a conversation. It's not about fixing anything. It's just about talking about it. Distraction from seasonal depression disorder, I feel like, is really difficult because it surrounds you all the time.
Yeah.
There's no escaping it.
Yeah. Night is ever present.
Right.
And again, you know, we were joking about how we're sleepy all the time anyway, but I feel like it gets dark earlier and you have the time change.
Yep.
And so I think people are getting sleepy because our natural circadian rhythm is to follow the sun.
Yeah.
So I think people get sleepy earlier and then you're just kind of riding out the clock until your bedtime,
Yeah.
watching TV, whatever it is you do. I don't think that helps
No.
at all.
No, I agree with you. I think that when you're dealing with triggers, right? Triggers for depression, triggers for mania, you can do your best to avoid those triggers, but like you can't avoid nighttime.
Yeah.
You can't avoid the gray dawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's just there. And, you know, if you hold up inside, you know, a building to try and avoid said, you know, nighttime, gray dawn time, that's just triggering depression in another way. So there's no escaping it. There's absolutely none.
No.
Yeah. It's my aunt used to basically live under a sun lamp from let's say October through March, April, back on the East Coast.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, right. Just we should hire someone to carry a sun lamp around over us. Maybe our own little ray
the
of
way
sunshine.
That, Romans used to have slaves that would fan them.
Yeah.
You just have somebody walking around with a sun lamp.
Exactly. Yeah, but we'd pay them. I mean, yeah. What would you pay that person?
I mean, at least minimum wage.
You have to pay minimum. Well, that's expensive.
Yeah.
And then because they'd have to be on call 24/7 in case you want to go out for like a donut,
Yeah.
and that's no good.
Well, I mean, you could just make it like a swing shift job. It's like, look, from 4 to 8, you know, it's part-time.
Yeah.
Like the time that it should still be sunny, but it's not. Just follow me around with the lamp.
Okay, so they're on call ostensibly. Would they be in the house with you? You know what I mean? Like, or would they be just outside the door, like sitting on a stool?
No, I think if you're going to hire them, you hire them part-time, 4 to 8,
Yeah.
Monday through Friday,
Okay.
and they're just like with you. For
It's
those
with
4
just hanging
hours.
out those times. Okay. Do you have to talk to him?
It's probably extra if they don't.
There you go. I was about to say, like, it's a sliding scale.
Yeah, it's like I'll pay you minimum wage, but if you don't talk to me, I'll give you $18 an hour.
Oh, you know what? There's a
See,
lot.
I'd feel bad. I'd be like, "Can I hold the lantern?"
Yeah,
for a
exactly. Yeah. Do you want something to drink,
Yeah.
or can I feed you? I feel like, yeah, I know this is your job, but you don't want to work for me.
I mean, I guess those are the things you have to do with seasonal affective disorder. Is you know, you have to get some kind of lighting apparatus,
Sure.
sun lamp,
I
one of
guess.
one of those vitamin D lights. You probably have to supplement with vitamin D.
I also think you just got to fucking grit your teeth and bear it.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing.
like
Well,
we-
you know, there's no. I don't know if they've ever done a direct study linking the two, but I would say with seasonal affective disorder, and with regular depression, bipolar, etc., going into the holidays, it's no surprise that suicide rates jump at the holidays.
Sure.
You know,
Well, there's also all these expectations for like New Year's. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's the end of a year for you. It's an end of the year on Earth. And what have you accomplished that year? And what do you plan to accomplish next year? And what are your prospects for next year? It's so daunting, and it's so much pressure.
yeah,
And then you add to that not only the pressure you're putting on yourself, but the pressure that your family's putting on you, or your friends are putting on you, your job's putting on you.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I completely understand why the suicide rate's so high this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
It's atrocious.
Yeah. I don't. Adam had asked me off air. Is that what we say, off air?
Yeah, we're off air.
Okay.
We're never on air though, so
Yeah, that's true.
off
mic?
mic. Off mic. I was about to say off mic. I like
Okay.
off mic.
Adam asked me off mic if I had always suffered from seasonal depression. And when I was young, I was very much a night owl, and so were all my friends. And so it wasn't depressing when the sun went down, because we would just get together and we'd all stay up together until 3 or 4 a.m. Hanging out. Sometimes we'd stay up till dawn, you know.
See, I was never able to do that.
Oh man, yeah, we'd do that all the time. And then, but as you get older and you have to adhere closer to a 9 to 5, your friends start getting busy. Nobody wants to go out at midnight.
Yeah,
You know, it's like if I'm not already out by 8 p.m.,
ain't happening.
yeah, that's how most people are.
I actually was out a couple weeks back with a couple of buddies, and Beans, my youngest dog, gets me up every morning at 6 a.m. on the dot. Rain, sunshine, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm getting up at 6. And so we were out at a bar grabbing some pizza and a beer, and it ended up being like 11:30, and we had just killed our beer, and we were just done with the pizza. And he was like, "All right, so where are we going next?" I'm like, I'm going home. I got Beans getting me up at 6, and so I'm not gonna get to bed till 12:30. And I just heard myself and how old I was.
Yeah.
And then that dude ended up going out for another like 2 hours to 2 different bars by himself because, you know, this old fuck didn't want
Yeah.
to go out.
Yeah.
But I've never been one of those night owls. I've never. But again, that goes back to being sleepy all the time. It's like I'd prefer to be in bed
Yeah.
99% of the time.
Yeah, it's funny. I'd rather socialize at night than during the day, for sure.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe it's a subconscious thing to fight off depression. Because even when I have normal depression, it's worse at night than it is during the day.
Really?
Yeah. Like during the day, again, I'm getting sunlight. You know, I can find things usually to occupy my time, even if I have anhedonia, or I'm like having to take a couple naps because I'm exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
I can still find some things to occupy my time, or I can at least, if I'm going to watch TV, I'm doing it in the sunlight.
Oh, so
You know.
that's
And
interesting.
then night comes, and if I'm by myself, you know, if I stay up, you know, the kids go to bed, and it's just me, and I'm looking for something to do, and it's just depressing. You know, it's like I'm sitting here by myself. I don't really want to watch a movie or anything. I don't want to play a video game. And so I think socializing at night kind of becomes a panacea for that.
Oh,
You know?
interesting. See, for me, I love being alone at night because all the pressures of the day and the obligations and the pressure I put on myself disappears because I've kind of made it through the day, right? So now the night is my own, and I can kind of, escape to, even if I'm not doing something, if I'm not reading, watching TV, play a game, whatever, I can still escape into like myself and my wants and needs,
Yeah.
During the day, on the other hand, it's like all the pressures of the world are on you. It's like you have to accomplish all this shit today. There's all these expectations of you that need to occur right now. And then it gets to be seasonal. I'm keep getting this wrong. I'm just calling it seasonal depression because I keep getting the sad wrong. I'm getting sad wrong, you guys. That's the latest. That's my autobiography. Adam Sleman, Getting Sad Wrong. That's gonna look for it at your Barnes and Noble. So now I'm in a world where it's gray all the fucking time during the day. I have all these obligations and these demands on me. This time of year, take, holidays being what they are. We had talked about that a little earlier. And also, my industry happens to be extremely busy this time of year because there's all these Christmas specials, there's all these holiday specials that are live events and concerts and things. So we're extremely busy. So there's a million things going, and it's so depressing outside. It's, that's where it gets me. That's where it gets me. I prefer to just get through the day. The day is done. Great. If you need me, I'll be in bed until I have to go through the day again.
Yeah.
Don't have to struggle through the day. Which is not a way to be viewing life, that I'm just trying to get through the day every day.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like that sometimes, especially when the day is short and ugly.
Yeah. I mean, the more depressed I get, the more I'm like that I'm just trying to pass the day and hope that maybe something good will happen the next day.
Right, because the idea is as soon as you go to sleep, there's a chance you're going to wake up the next morning and feel better.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Yeah. And often my dreams are more interesting than what's going on in my life when I'm depressed.
I don't
So-
dream. I'm so jealous of
that's
you
right.
dreamers.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of it.
You ever take melatonin?
Melatonin. No. Because I don't have a problem going to sleep.
Well, melatonin's supposed to cause vivid dreams. I'd be curious if you had dreams if you took
Oh,
melatonin.
do you take melatonin?
Sometimes. I don't have a problem falling asleep. I have a problem
Right.
staying asleep.
Oh, okay. Is melatonin supposed to help with that as well?
No, melatonin's for falling asleep.
Yeah, see, that's why I've never taken it. It's because
Yeah.
I put my head on the pillow, I'm done
Yeah.
in a hot second.
Yeah.
Um,
I wake up in the middle of the night and I have the damnedest time going back to sleep.
really?
Yeah.
Is it like on a regular schedule? Like you sleep for 2 hours, then you're up, or is it just kind of random?
I've stopped looking at the clock because that stresses me out. So I couldn't tell you, but it feels like it's probably like 3 or 4 a.m.
Yeah,
that I pop awake.
and then you just stay up.
I eventually go back to sleep, but I feel like I lay there for an hour
Really?
and, at least. Have you ever heard of the concept of second sleep?
No, what's second sleep?
So they say that before the Industrial Revolution, before electricity, that what would happen is everyone would, you basically go to bed at sundown,
Right.
but then you'd wake up in the middle of the night and people would get up and like socialize a little. Like you might hang out with your family, you might, eat a snack, you might go talk to your neighbor.
Okay.
People would have sex then, etc. And they called it second sleep when you'd go back to sleep. So they would just embrace the fact that like, oh, we're waking up in the middle of the night. Let's do something with it.
So
and
then
we go back to sleep.
The idea being is like because the sun went down at 4:40 today, we would have gone to sleep by like 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Woken up at 10 p.m., hung out with some people until midnight, 1 o'clock, and then gone back to bed until the sun comes up?
Yeah.
Huh.
But that was also before the time change.
Right.
So
Before
you-
that damn
Yeah.
time change.
So the sun would be going down at like 5:40.
Okay.
So like 6 p.m. Maybe you eat dinner
Sure. Yeah.
and then you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically that would be the idea.
I mean, that's interesting. I'm surprised that you just so because this happens to you regularly, right? The whole waking up in the middle of the night thing.
Yeah.
It surprises me that you still stay in bed. Like it hasn't like you're not the type who's like I guess I'm gonna get up.
Every now and then I get up and go do something,
Yeah.
but I try not to because once you turn on a light or look at a screen, like you're up.
Oh,
That-
okay.
That wakes your brain up.
So you still feel groggy and out of it. You're not like awake.
I mean, I'm pretty awake,
Yeah.
but I want to go back to sleep. And so I feel like if I get up and go do something, I won't.
Mm,
That it's just like, well, I got up at 4 a.m. today
right.
and, maybe conk out at noon or something.
Hmm.
But so I kind of try to fight it and lay there and try to go back to sleep. And sometimes it works better than others.
Right.
Sometimes I'm able to go back to sleep easier. Other times I feel like I kind of go in and out of sleep until after sunrise, I think that's one of the reasons when I'm depressed, I'm in bed for like 12 hours a night. Is that just kind of going in and out of sleep?
Going in and out, right? Not getting a solid 8.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about like winter as seasonal depression. Do you think there's seasonal depression that affects people like in the summer or the spring?
I could be wrong, but I would say no.
Okay, and you think
Because
that's
I think so much of it comes down to the lack of sunlight we're getting.
Yeah, I guess yes. I just think it's interesting that it's because it's like an autumn or winter thing. They don't call it like winter depression or
Yeah.
autumnal depression. I like autumnal depression.
Autumnal depression.
Autumnal. It kind of sounds sophisticated.
Yeah.
Like I got my. I'm doing a dissertation on autumnal depression. I like that. I like autumnal
Yeah.
depression.
Autumnal.
Autumnal. It's a good name. It's a good word in general. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I do think that the winter and the fall get a bad rap because there is something so peaceful and beautiful about like fresh snow. and snowfall.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not necessarily the cold and the slush that goes with it, but
Well, there's a lot great about fall and winter,
yeah,
but those factors still exist that drive you into depression.
yeah,
with it.
those don't change.
Yeah. Like you can find, like we've talked about before, you dip in and out of these states. It's not to say you can't find enjoyment in fall and winter,
Right.
but if you're prone to this, you'll still slip into it.
Yeah, and there's really, again, nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
That's so frustrating.
By the way, I'm very cognizant of trying to speak loud into the mic
Okay.
because we had one guy. It was just one guy. Like this wasn't a bunch of people.
Okay.
This was just one guy recently was trying to listen to us on some platform and couldn't hear me
Really?
and wrote us on Instagram a few times and was like, I got to stop listening to the show. And I was like, what's he talking about? And I went and I listened to us on all the major platforms.
Yeah.
And I was like, Adam's a little louder than me, but like, it's fine.
Huh.
Like it's not a big disparity. It wasn't enough to where I had to change the volume.
Right.
Of course, I was listening on my phone and on my computer. I don't know if you're listening in the car, maybe. No, because I've listened in the car before too. I don't know.
I mean, it could possibly.
So if,
Yeah, I don't know.
if any of you folks feel like you experienced that, please write us and let us know because I think it's probably my mic technique.
Well, I think the other thing too, we should probably invest in. You have a Blue Yeti, right? Because there are different types of microphones, and there are microphones that are better suited for this type of thing.
I have a Rode Podcaster.
Yeah, we should probably start using that, and I have a Blue Yeti because the mics we're using currently are unidirectional mics, meaning they're coming at it from one direction. So if all of a sudden you start going a little bit this way or a little bit that way or pulling back, it's harder to hear you.
Yeah.
Well, something like what you're talking about mic-wise is omnidirectional, meaning you can be in a lot.
Oh, that's true.
It has a lot more
I get
leeway.
I get very animated when I speak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed that little informational nugget about microphone technology, everybody out there.
you know.
So when you're starting a podcast, make sure you buy an omnidirectional microphone.
So now you guys, from this episode on seasonal depression, know about Christmas songs.
Yep.
You know about Bing Crosby and a robot. And you know about mics.
Yeah, there you go.
So
You've
but
learned
probably not a lot about
You've
seasonal.
learned nothing about seasonal depression because there's no fucking answer to it. There's no
what's the
rhyme or
answer?
reason.
What is the answer?
Like, it's not a scientific thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you or anyone you know will ever be tested, so to speak, for seasonal depression.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
You
You walk
can't take a blood test for it.
No, you walk in because we've talked about this before about like if you are bipolar, there are physical abnormalities. You know what I mean? That will show that present when you are bipolar, right? Like you talked
Right.
about like your brain chemistry and so on and so forth. But seasonal depression, anyone can have it. Anyone can get it. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
And I bet if you went to see a professional about it, they would question, they'd give you all the questions to determine if you have depression. And because you haven't been experiencing it year round, they probably wouldn't prescribe you anything.
Right, they probably write you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, get some more exercise.
Yeah.
Get some more exercise, which
That's what they'd
again
say.
helps. All this stuff helps.
Yeah.
I just think it sucks that anyone with a mental illness gets this compounded this time of year, right? Because yes, Joe Blow, Jane Doe, who are not mentally ill, may be affected by seasonal depression, and that sucks. That really sucks. Yeah, this isn't like me saying, "Oh, your pain doesn't matter," because your pain does matter. It's just all of a sudden that seasonal depression gets added on to the depression caused by your bipolar, and that's
Or your unipolar depression.
Yeah,
Or,
and you're kicked. Now that's twice kicked in the teeth.
yeah.
And again, it's where those suicide numbers come from.
Mm-hmm.
It's why a lot of people hate and fear the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
not just because of Krampus.
Although that's enough.
That's enough right there, Krampus.
He's coming for you.
He's coming, bitches. Especially if you're,
You've been naughty.
naughty.
Not naughty in a hot way.
Yeah. Or maybe you've been naughty in a hot way. You know, maybe that's Krampus's thing. I don't know.
Oh,
I've never met met Krampus.
he's a voyeur.
Maybe. Ugh. Gross. As you know, if you're an all powerful deity, I bet you could be a voyeur pretty easily.
I bet a lot of Greek gods are.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
are. I mean, read any of those myths.
Zeus is hanging out in somebody's
Oh,
closet. right
gross.
now.
He's
Yeah.
super gross.
There was an Onion article I loved once that was I forget the exact title, but it was by Zeus. And it
Wait,
was
he wrote it?
Yeah, and
Nice.
it was something like it's really easy to pick up women when you turn into an animal. And it's just him being like, there was this one chick, I turned into a swan. Man, she was all over me. Like,
That's so weird.
this other chick, I turned into a bull. Man, she loved that. Like,
I don't. Yeah. Say what you want. You think you're a creative writer? No, you're not. Go back
Yeah.
and read some of that old school shit, man. You got nothing. All the shit that you think is original, you're pulling from somewhere else. And pulling from some weird animal fetishy gods that was
Yeah.
written in 300 BC.
yeah.
Um,
Man, when you get into the Nordic gods, it gets even weirder. Like Loki in mythology was not
Dude.
only a shapeshifter, but would sometimes be male and sometimes female.
hey, why not?
So Loki would impregnate, as say a horse, for instance, would impregnate a horse, and then they would have some mythological child, and then sometimes Loki would get impregnated and give birth to Jormungandr, the snake that circles the world.
You
and,
see, this is what seasonal depression does. It
yeah,
locks
you read about mythology. I wonder if Tom Hiddleston knows all this.
Oh, he totally does. That's how he probably got cast. Is he
Yeah.
wrote a bunch of emails to the
he
casting
walked
director.
in, he's like, "Here's all my Loki erotica."
Exactly. I'm published under a different name, but I have a 24-book series on
Yeah.
Loki erotica, and it's spelled low key, like
Low-
LOW key, yeah,
Low-key
KEY.
erotica. Yeah.
Hey, happy holidays. Try and make it a happy holiday. I know it's not going to be easy and you might not be able to, but when you're feeling real shitty, because you're going to feel real shitty, know that we're all feeling shitty with you, and that while you're entitled to feel however you want to feel, whenever you want to feel it, you can't quit fighting just because it's the holidays. You got to fight harder.
And if you make it till spring, the seasonal aspect of the depression will go away.
It will get easier.
And maybe that's all you suffer from,
Yep.
and then your depression vanishes. Or if you're like us and you have depression anyway, maybe it eases up a bit.
Maybe it eases up, and any weight that's taken off your back is weight off your back.
You know, they say bipolar people are more likely to go manic in the spring.
Really? Well, that makes sense, right? Because you're cooped up, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's game on.
Yeah.
Keep fighting. We love you. Thank you for listening. You're the best.